Hello, this will be a multicolor remote kit installation on a Skidoo 1997 Touring LE. So you can see it has some grates on the front that we're going to light up, and on the sides, not all of them but many of them, and we'll be doing underneath the running boards. So we'll go along there. And this sled is very symmetrical in its grates. Some sleds have different counts of openings. These wire grates are great because you can zip tie instead of glue to them. So for today's installation, we'll be doing these 4 grates, and then the 2 large grates on the side, and the running boards. And what I'll do is I'll cut the video in and out, and so of course you don't have to watch all 45 minutes or so of installation. What we'll do is open the hood, give you a little shot of inside the hood, how it's going to look. So you can see these grates from the inside, and we'll just zip tie those facing outward. Nice thing about zip ties are that if you don't like the look or where they are, you can snip them and replace them without having to take the glue off or find alternative glue. The challenge with this sled will be, one, just a basic thing. You got to remove the air box to get to the battery. You can see the battery's back there. And then the other thing is finding a place to put the remote box that won't be too wet. So there is a little shelf right here, which is looking really promising, is close to the battery. We shouldn't get too much snow up in there, and we can find a little case to put it in. On the other side, there's a tool kit right in that spot, so it should make for a good shelf. Alright, we'll get started with this, take some pictures as we go, and a little bit more video. And then of course tonight we'll show it with the lights all on. Okay, so this kit that we're going to install today on the 1997 Skidoo Touring LE is the engine multicolor remote kit. And on this little shelf here that we've made, you can see that there's the fuse and initial wiring. There's some small packet of zip ties. The larger packet's mine underneath there, but a small packet of zip ties. You get a junction, a 5-out junction. You get 3 strips. I've already cut and gel coated those strips to the grates that I'm going to use today, but you get your 3 strips, which you can cut out into 6 or 4 or however many you like. We have some extensions in case we need to reach some places. You have your 2 remotes, your remote box, and silicone sealant so that you can silicone the ends. Whenever you cut these, what you'll want to do is peel back a little bit of the tape and put gel on the end. You want to make sure that those metal tabs left over after you cut the strip don't touch any metal on your sled, so you want to silicone the ends there. Pull back the tape just a little bit so you can silicone around the lip, and you'll be good to go after letting those cure for a night. We'll also be putting on the running board extension, and these are much longer strips. They come with 3 feet of extensions so that you can get way back on each side. So you're talking 6 feet of extensions. You get another junction just as a spare. You get a splitter, and then some wire ties, and again silicone. I won't need to open the silicone on this side, and we won't be using the zip ties on the back running board. But those are the 2 kits we'll be installing today, and we'll get going and catch you up later. Okay, one of the first things you want to do is test out your remote box. They do come sometimes faulty. I mean, every manufacturer has issues sometimes. Happy to say that we haven't had any issues so far with our installations. And Joe Florida Lights has a lifetime reasonable guarantee, so if you get a bad remote box, he'll replace it. But essentially took some alligator clips, just wired it up to the battery. You can see the remote box there. We've got a couple junctions, and they're just draped over to make sure they're not touching anything. All the ends are silicone, so I'm not worried about them touching the running boards there. And we'll just turn them on. And we got green, blue, red, aqua, purple, yellow, white, and then we got the effects. So looks like everything's working. and we can go ahead with the installation and get all the stuff on the sled. Alright, so we're ready to put the power box in, the remote control box. You can see there's a spot right here on the gas tank behind the air box with access to the battery. So we're going to use the double-sided tape and put that in right there. And you'll see, like always, you want to have your inline fuse. So we soldered and shrink wrapped the box to the inline fuse. In this case, because of where the post is, we didn't use a ring terminal. We're going to use a prong terminal. It should hold up okay. And then what we'll do is we will run the wires down behind this foot plate, and we'll tie it into this line, which is clear the clutch all the way down, and we'll put our extensions into the hood. And then we'll run our extensions for the running boards down through the footwells and into the running boards. But I just wanted to show where the on this particular sled where the remote box will go, the fact that we shrink wrapped and soldered the fuse in. Always put the fuse in even if you're using an on-off kit. Okay, so we've got it connected. I realized a lot of these videos are going to be like 5 or 10 seconds, but we just want to show you how it's going. So we've connected the ground and the power. You can see the box here. And what we've done is connected one strip just to make sure everything's working. You can see there's green right there. And it still cycles the colors. So now we'll fasten that up and start wiring all the lights. Welcome back. Alright, so we have the power unit in place, zip tied for added security. We've run the first cord, which will be the hood, down through the footwell, protected on the outside. We'll snip all these zip ties, obviously. I usually use a different color when I zip tie my electronics into my sled so that I know, or someone else who's working on the sled will know, that the blue zip ties are tying in my lighting kit. And so just, you know, a little bit extra information, so if you work on your sled a lot and you're not a mechanic like I'm not, then it just helps me remember. And we ran these down and we put them in the clips that are holding the Speedo cable as much as we could. And we haven't zip tied everything in yet. We're running it loose the first time. We bring it up here and we're going to have a junction, and we've loose fit our first strip. You can see we only put a zip tie on the end and the top, and we contoured it to the vent just to see how it's going to look. So we'll put the hood down, we'll turn out the lights, and you'll see how it's going to look on the front. So there you go. So you can see that obviously the power box is working, the light strip is working, and we got all the various colors going. So it's going to kind of look like that, you know, Audi lighting that you see. And we're going to do these 4 fronts and the 2 sides. So we're going to get back at it, and we'll catch you up once we got everything zip tied in for the hood installation. So we're back. We've got the hood installed. You can see the side. I'll do this in the light and then we'll turn off the lights. The front. And the opposite side. Alright, so we're going to come back here. It is daylight outside, so we're not going to get all the light on, but I'll take more video later.
This one's missing. See how that light is?
There you go. And we got a front. And we got the opposite side. Looking pretty sweet. And what we'll do is we'll do the running boards here, and then we'll be all set. Alright, we have finished up the installation for the hood. We've got the battery tied up. These will be hooked to the running board, so they're not going to be loose out by the clutch. We'll tie those up later. And the wires come down along the side, following along the Speedo cable and the other electronics. We go right into the 5x and split her on out, and you can see we zip tied these all in, so no glue is necessary. All the bulbs facing outward, side grill, And then the hardest part was up in this fan shroud. I didn't really want to take the fan shroud off. A lot of this plastic is brittle, being about 15 years old. So there you have it. And I'll take a night shot, and then of course we'll get this out on the snow eventually. And up next will be the running boards. Running boards. So for the running boards, what we've done is we've pulled the wires through. We'll zip tie them later. They're going through the footrest. They're coming out right here and running underneath. So we've done one side. I know it's a little dark, and I will zip over and show you the other side. Loose. So here we have the wire, and we'll pull all that slack in. We'll fasten it up underneath. You can see the line there. And then we'll zip tie and silicone everything in. For right now, I will just show you that far. And you can see the remote box here. Wire, we'll zip tie that and finish it up, and then we're all set to go. So we're almost there. So this is the final video. This is a 1997 Skidoo Touring LE that we picked up from my wife last year. We just installed a Joe Florida LED accent lights.net kit on here. It's a multi-remote, multi-color, multi-remote. There's two remotes, one for a keychain and one is a spare. And what we're going to do is turn out the lights, turn on the sled, and show you how it looks. What we've done here is we've put in the 4 grills there in the front, side grill there, and then the running boards. So let's turn out the light and check it out. It's going to be a little blurry because these are bright inside, and I don't have a lot of space here in my garage. But the light itself will be kind of dull on the gray ground. So you can see it's gray garage cement. They'll be much brighter outside on the snow. We found that with the other 2 installations we've done, mine and my brother's. So here we go. Okay, so we have green. You know, it matches the motif of the sled a little bit there. And again, with the multi-kits, you can change the colors. And this is probably the best feature. You know, the lighting effects are kind of cool, but you're not going to run them normally all the time. You're not going to run this. We don't encourage people, I don't encourage people to run these on the trails because a lot of the Warden sleds will have lights, and we don't want to get these banned in the state. Some states have banned these already. We don't want that to happen here in Maine. So, you know, I'll go through them just to show you what they are. But really, you know, we just want to sit on the colors. So I'm going to turn that off, turn it back on. Okay, and my wife said she's probably going to run it in purple most of the time. She likes the purple. Even though that's not a Skidoo color, obviously, but... we didn't do the shock wells on this one. The way the grills looked, we liked the... You know, we want to give more light in the hood, and because the running board strips are so long, they pretty much give you that underglow up front. So, you know, it kind of goes from the running board up to the hood. Later on, these are expandable, so if we decide we want to light up the front a little bit, we can add those shock wells and do that. So there you go. That's the Joe Florida multicolor remote kit. And you can find it by Googling him on, you know, Google Joe Florida LEDs, or it's ledaccentlights.net. And you know, I just like plug in a company that stood by its product, and we've had 3 good installs so far. And my brother and I's sleds, we beat the crap out of them. You know, not mean, but we have a short season here in Maine now, so we got to run slush and ice and dirt, and they've held up great. These gel strips really are low profile, and you can see how well they show up. So there you go. You know, we hope to do a video at some point, But we don't have any snow on the ground. It's almost January here in Maine and no snow. That's nuts. Show you the suspension. This is kind of a low profile sled. And there we go. Great. Well, we hope to have a moving video for you sometime. And happy holidays, everybody.